Now, one of the biggest reasons that people kind of like our system is because it does an excellent job of helping you determine your return on investment for training. And from what we've, been able to ascertain over the past, decade that we've been doing this type of stuff is there's really only two reasons to deliver training to people outside your organization. You're either looking to increase revenue because you're monetizing the training, or maybe you sell a software application that, generates revenue as more and more people adopt it. I know Salesforce.com is like this. They've got different flavors of the application, and then there's different features you get with the different flavors and so on. And so Salesforce.com themselves have a pretty robust training library, again, because they're trying to increase adoption and which ultimately increases revenue. The other reason to deliver training, which is probably why more and more people are doing this, is more to reduce support costs. Now, this is the side of the equation that's a little bit harder to measure. Obviously, if you're selling your training, that's a pretty easy determination to make on whether or not it's profitable or not. But when you're trying to compare the cost to deliver training to the cost of delivering support, that's a little bit harder of an equation to match up. So what ends up happening with our solution is, you've got your system for creating trouble tickets or managing cases. In our world, we use Salesforce.com because that's our CRM. So when people have issues with the products that we sell, they log a case, and we see that case through, or they call in, we open a case, and we make sure it gets resolved. Then over on the right side, you've got your training. So you're delivering training, and you're capturing your results in some way, and then up comes our friend the Excel spreadsheet. So a lot of times you're having to dump results into a spreadsheet, pull trouble tickets out of your trouble ticketing system, and then find some way of doing a cost analysis to find out what type of an effect you're having. Very manual process. It also tends to keep your data in a silo. It sits on somebody's laptop who's probably traveling. So it's not out for everybody to see and for everybody to benefit from. So what ends up happening with Salesforce is now that we've got all these data points going over into the CRM, everything from quiz attempts and grades and date and timestamps for when courses are completed, we can now set up dashboards inside Salesforce.com that show us, how many cases were created last quarter. At the same time, how many courses were completed during that same time. Ideally, what you want to see is as more and more people are taking and completing training, you'll see a decrease within your cases created. So, our system doesn't guarantee that you'll see this inverse relationship, but it gives you the tools, and it gives you the visual kind of results, or at least some sort of cue to know if you're on the right track. I mean, maybe if you're not seeing the results that you want to see, what these dashboards might tell you is maybe your training isn't effective. If you look at a particular course and, a lot of people are completing it, they're getting poor grades, maybe the content was developed poorly. Maybe you've got some faulty quiz questions, or maybe the content's gotten old and outdated and you didn't realize it. So it helps you identify where you can improve on your training, or whether or not your training is being effective at accomplishing the goal that you want it to accomplish.